guys, Jill here. Okay, so in this video I want to show you some of the projects I've been working on. I haven't been doing a lot. Like I said, we've been dealing with the move and my stupid sickness, but I have managed to fit in some time for some things. Mainly my brother's getting married in May, and so his fiance asked me to do a lot of the wedding things. So I'll be showing you those. And of course I couldn't make them simple, right? So here was my Valentine's Day card, and I tried to keep this one kind of fun, use some products that I've bought and haven't used yet, or some things I've had around. One of the things I've had around is these stickers, and of course they look like Dymo labels, and then dewdrops. So I'm going to show how I made this card. I've had a template hanging around for this card, but I'm going to show you how I modified it to make it so that you don't have to use the template, because the template calls for like this unusually long sheet of paper. So the background, I used some of my Mind's Eye paper. It's the Recollections version, and I stamped on top of that with the dollar stamp I got at Michael's, and I used chocolate pearlescent ink, which is part of the Brilliance collection. Put some more stickers. This is Coordinations paper, and there's the base color. And this is from the Tim Holtz collection. As you know, I pick those up when they go, I think it's $6 for $1. I don't know, it's a really good price at Joann's. So they have the Tim Holtz Distress collection. And this is my Tim Holtz banner, and I don't know the name, but I used foil, and I left the textured part of my plate down, and it gave those really cool designs. Then I used my flower punch. I'm making a video, hon. And, sorry, that's my husband. He's getting ready for work. This is the new heart nestabilities that I got, which I really love. And another piece of the Coordinations paper that's not from the Distress collection. And then that little silly squirrel stamp I got at Michael's that says I'm nuts about you. And there's a little piece left on there. I use my Twinkling H2Os to color in the mice, which are my favorite watercolor, because I'm not sure if you can see that little bit of twinkle. And then on the back, I just used a piece from that collection of the paper. And I will show you how to make this card. It is not hard to make, but I'll do that as a tutorial. Then this is a card that I made for my brother's fiance's daughter, Jasmine, so my niece, and she does this really cute little thing, and of course you know we're by Disney, and she looks at Princess Jasmine and goes, "That's Princess me." So of course I had to get a hold of some of those images, which I did, and I just used my Copics on it, and it's a Whiff of Joy stamp. And here's the face. I used E00, E11, E35, and a little bit of R20 on the cheeks. Her hair is W3, W5, W7, and W9. And then I didn't write down the blues for her outfit. And just a little bit of stickles on there. A nestability frame. This is the Basic Gray Sweet Threads collection. I used some of the stickers. And then these are some little flowers that I made from a tutorial here on YouTube. And there's a little bit of that border peeking out. And then I used some basil cardstock. Then this is another technique I saw. It's Crafty Kate Palmer. I'm not completely happy with how this turned out. I think I used the wrong paper. I used my sparkle paper. But she has this really cool tutorial on how to do this resist technique with your Copics, and then some sprays. And I used my Perfect Pearl sprays. And so these are just some of the Tim Holtz stamps in the background also, and my Copics. and then 2 of, it's the original, the purple and the teal from the Perfect Pearls. And I'm going to try this technique again because I like it. Again, I don't think I used the right colors and the right paper. So I'm going to play around with it a little more. It is a really, really cool technique she does. So she's in my favorites. So there's that. I haven't finished the card with that. And then my niece Reagan had a birthday in January. So this is her birthday card. And this is the Shutter card. And it folds out like that. So it zigzags. And this tutorial years and years ago I got off of Split Coast Stampers. So I used, again, the My Mind's Eye collection, but this is the Portobello Road. It's the Recollections version that Susan sent me. I used some I Am Rose's flowers, tipped them with blue and sprayed them. Some of my favorite leaves from Michael's. I used my Martha Stewart punch, my flower punches that I just love using, some stickles, and these were from, they're not labeled, they don't have a color on them, from the Christmas ones that I got on clearance last year. I used some Nestabilities, and this is one of the label collections. More I Am Roses done the exact same way. I cut out a little banner, and I used some rub-ons that I picked up at Target, again, years ago, like at least 5 years ago. And then just put on some of the paper, accented it with Vintage Photo and tea dye. And the back is plain, in case you're wondering, but of course you could drive yourself nuts and do the back. And all the directions and all of the paper dimensions are on there. And there's also a version for a full-size front, but I display mine like that, so it doesn't matter to me. Okay, then these are my brother's wedding invitations. I could have gotten by easy and made something very simple, but no, I had to complicate things. So on the front here, we have a Nestability, and this is all based off of the Top Note Nestability shape. This is a stamp set that I got for $1 at Big Lots, and I stamped that actually with the red from, oh my gosh, I'm having like total memory farts this morning. The permanent. Not the Adirondack, the Ranger Permanent Archival inks. I did this on cream paper and I edged it. Everything is edged that you see with tea dye and walnut stain. Now the folder I had in my head, and of course they don't make the folder, so I modified a Nestability cutout and I made the folder. And then let me stand up and see how. Okay, so of course that's the top. You open it. I made a pocket down here. Here's the invitation. And I also modified those flaps. And this is one sheet of paper. If anyone's interested, I can show you the dimensions. It's really simple. And then these are the top note shapes. This is nice lightweight paper I got from Joann's. I don't love it for card making, but I do love the texture on it, and it's great for these kind of things, because I was going to use my Stampin' Up! Paper way too thick. I used some stamps. The bolder swirl is Inka Dinka Doo, and the finer one is Technique Tuesday. And again, the top note shape, all their information printed on the computer. Of course, I'm covering some of it. And then the bottom, I made a pocket. I glued it on with my Scotch Quick Dry and slipped in the envelope as well as the return, which is very similar to the card itself, just the swirls are a little different. And then this looked really plain to her and to me, so we put "Please return the enclosed RSVP," and then I used a hole punch to cut that out. Like I said, if you guys are interested in a tutorial on this or any of them, I will happily do that for you. And I made up a template and I did these. So these all went postal yesterday. So that's why you guys are hearing from me today. Because this this was a job. And then I did all the envelopes and stuff for them because she works full-time. My brother, of course, works full-time. They have 2 toddlers, 1 older teenager, and a lot on their plates. So, of course, I wanted to help out. And it's my brother. And I really, really like his fiance. Another thing I've been working on is some fun molding, and I'll show you this more in depth, but here's some cameos I made with my resin and some flowers, and this is my resin with some Tim Holtz dye in them. And then I haven't finished these, but these are with some paper clay, and that's one of the things I did get. It's the Delight brand paper clay, and it's really lightweight for card use. And so I made up a few new molds, and this is from one of my Cane Company embellishments. They also have the matching egg. So I just kind of looked around and worked with everything. This might be my favorite. Isn't that cool? And then this one's hard to see, but I have more. I went totally nuts. Oh, and then these little teeny tiny cameos. Oh, and the little horse. So I molded a lot of my cameos, and then I bought some of them. So there you go. That's what I've been working on. And I'm going to come back with a tutorial on the 1 card. And then if you're interested in seeing how I did the invitation, let me know. Thanks for stopping by and have a great day.